I can't look anymore whether or not someone stands behind Donald Trump as a ultimate judgment of their soul. I want to break it down more specifically than that, because that's an awful big judgment to pass. So I look at it this way. If they agree with everything that he's doing, that he's factually actually doing, proven to be doing, taking benefits away from veterans, kicking 17 million people off of Medicare, taking all women's rights away and everything else. If as a human being they address each and every one of those, that yes, I agree with Donald Trump on that. Yes, I agree with Donald Trump. Yes, I agree with the Republicans on that. That's why I hesitate to say, you still back him, F you, that makes you rotten to your soul. I get that. And because we think a lot more deeply than they do, they don't understand that's what you mean. And they don't understand the depths of what you mean. Because it is a deep thing. But at the risk of making an assumption based on their ignorance in understanding the actual depth of a question, I would much rather just say, hey, listen, do you agree that 17 million Americans need to be stripped of their health care? Do you agree that 3 out of 5 rural hospitals are in danger of closing, and is that okay with you? Oh, by the way, where do you live? Oh, you're disabled. Oh, you're a veteran. Oh, do you agree that hundreds of thousands of veterans employees, and all of that? And do you agree with all of those things that are actually happening? And I guarantee you, 95% of them don't want any of that happening. And they don't understand, because of their lack of knowledge on the subjects. They actually don't get. And let this be a lesson of what you've been seeing from, like, even, the mushroom stains like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I didn't know that was in the bill. How many Republicans have said, oh, that's in the bill? No, they told me there was no Medicaid cuts, Medicare cuts. They told me there was no SNAP cuts. So they don't know what was in the bill. They're handed stuff, they're told to sign it, and they're signing it. So what they're telling their constituents is based on that too. And if only their constituents only get information from them and their Fox News and their talking point channels, they're not going to have any of the information we have, very much like people in other countries. They are basically on their own little ignorant planets, in their own little ignorant, and you can't really crack that nut if they still think you're speaking Japanese to them. And they're mad at you because they should know. Do I look Japanese? No, then I shouldn't speak Japanese. Why are you speaking Japanese? No, it's just intelligence. It's not Japanese at all. It's English. There's a total disconnect from the reality there. So you can't reason with someone who doesn't understand the reason in what you're saying. No matter how right you are or factual you are, they don't get it. So what we need to do is look them in the eye and say, do you think somebody who's been in this country, who has been working and paying taxes and doing good for the community and working 80 hours a week at very little pay and paying taxes more than President Donald Jackass Trump did, admittedly $750 a year. But by documents, the T's aren't all crossed, but for 20 years they were a thriving member of the community. They should be able to, they earn their place in this country, right? They basically have paid more taxes than Donald Trump. That's a fact. That's not, you know what I'm saying? So do you think they should be deported? Yes or no? The answer is no, because they're contributing members to society. Should they have their stuff? Yeah, probably. It may not even be their fault. It most of the time isn't. Another fallacy. But the fact is, if you ask these people specifically that question, they'll be okay with it. Remember all those people you're friends with at your restaurants? The dishwashers, the waiters, the waitresses? Yeah, maybe their parents' papers aren't in order. You think they should go, or are they contributing members of society? Okay, because under this rule, they're being thrown to the ground and beaten like they're felons. And their kids are being taken from them right in front of them. They're being taken from those restaurants that you eat at. And you're okay with that? No, there you go, MAGA. You just said you disagree with what's going on with what Trump's doing. Great. We all agree on that. You see how this works for everyone else? Do you agree that we should know that there's a big healthcare scare coming into this country that we need to make sure we're protected against? So give us some information. I think that's important that whether we believe the information or not, I think it should be available. It's important. Just like we should know that there's a hurricane bearing down on our states or big F5 tornadoes coming at us. We should know that as early as possible. That's what USA Aid and NOAA and all that other stuff does. That was taken away. Do you agree that Donald Trump took that away? Do you agree with Doge cuts that cut the overnight watchman, one person to watch radar overnight, one job, maybe not one person, maybe two, maybe three, who knows? Their job was to watch tornado warnings in the middle states. Doge fired that person. 27 people died with a string of tornadoes touching down because they had no warning. Zero, not even enough to get into their basements. Their storm shelters that they are prepared to get into if they have more than 2 minutes warning, because they have to get downstairs and collect family members. They didn't have that because that one person was fired by Doge. Do you believe in that? MAGA people, Republican voters, Trumpsters, do you believe in that? Do you believe that FEMA is so unimportant that when the states called Donald Trump for help after a line of tornadoes and hurricanes or whatever and floods swept through the red states, do you agree that Donald Trump said no to national aid for those red states right after he basically took apart FEMA? That was the only thing that was helping you besides the Red Cross. But he also defunded government's part of Red Cross. Do you agree with that? No, you don't. Well, he's doing that right now. Does that piss you off? Yes, it should. So call your freaking congresspeople. Call your senators. That's what we ask of you. Why? Because you're the person. You're who voted for him. You. But let's talk as Americans. Do you agree with the veterans losing everything they've lost? Do you agree that a veteran who served their country and lost their limbs obviously can't work the rest of their lives the way that he or she probably wish they could, but they get disability, their family gets insurance through the military, as they should, as they always have, and he gets pension? Do you agree that Donald Trump, the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025, tells that disabled hero who literally gave life and limb that they get pension for 10 more years? No more insurance. Their family loses their insurance. And no more disability payments, which covers a lot, by the way. And if you have that level of problems, you probably need a lot of medical care continuously. Do you agree with that, MAGA? Veterans still wearing the red hat? Do you agree with that? Yes or no? It's a simple American question. It's not a political question at all. That is the conversation we need to have. We don't have to look at everyone with the red hat and say, you ignorant piece of shit, you want all this, because we don't know. They may not think that deeply involved in it. They may not actually recognize anything that we're upset about that are facts as truth. They may not even recognize that they're possibilities because they've drank so much of the fake Kool-Aid, that the fake news Kool-Aid, that they don't, it doesn't ring, doesn't register. So we could talk to her blue in the face. But as a veteran, when they lose their stuff, is it time to have a conversation and ask them, do you still agree with what he's doing? That hurt a little bit, right? Oh, I noticed you took down 5 of your Trump flags. It's just a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get away from the anger all the way together, all the way across the board, because we're going to need everybody's help coming soon. We are going to take the power back. We're going to do it peacefully. And yes, as believers in the First and Second Amendment, we're going to do it loudly and protect ourselves and our fellow Americans, including you, which is what we're trying to do right now. But you're too stubborn to freaking listen. So I'm going to say this one more time. Look carefully at all the things you're angry about. And then look at all the changes coming your way. That's your guy. And do you agree with it? No? Then stand up with us and let's stop it. That's what we can do. So we need to stay diligent. We need to stay educated. We need to be kind. Because no matter what, we are all in this together. And the beautiful thing that helps you and I as Americans is the entire world has our backs with us. God bless.